Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing kind of a different video than I usually do. It is going to be makeup related, but I'm going to do kind of a get ready with me and also answer some questions just so you guys can get to know me a little bit better. So this is going to be mostly unedited. I might cut out some like dead space here and there, but for the most part, it's just going to be me getting ready. I'm going to be trying to use as many makeup products as I can from that Shop Miss A haul that I posted last week. If you were ever curious about any of those products, we'll find out together how good or potentially bad they are. So if you'd like to see what I come up with, then keep on watching. Okay, so as you can see, I have just a little bit of mascara on my top lashes right now. I'm just going to go through and get ready like I normally would, just using these products. For the most part, I'm just going to list everything I use down below instead of showing you every single thing that I use. But like I said, everything that I use will be down below. The Shop Miss A products that I use today, I will kind of point out to you just so you can reference back to that previous video and kind of compare and contrast what's going on. So let's go ahead and get started. I do already have primer on my face. I just threw that on a little bit ago. So I'm just gonna clip my hair back. Just what's a little bit out of my face. Okay, so looking real cute. I'm going to start with foundation, and I'm going to use that little mixing palette that I got last time right here. So it has a little hole to hold everything, and then it has a little spatula thing to mix with. So I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to use my regular foundation. Actually, I did find foundation I got in a previous Shop Miss A haul. It's this buildable satin foundation. So I'm gonna try this and then mix in that illuminating primer that I talked about in my last video. So I'm gonna mix that on the palette really quick. So it comes in a little dropper. So anyway, I guess while I'm mixing this, I could answer the first question. Let me unlock my phone. So what is my middle name? My middle name is Nicole. I was named after my biological father, which he is not in the picture. If you guys ever want a story time on that whole situation, I would be happy to share with you. So I'm just going to mix this around. And as I mentioned before, like this illuminating primer just blends so well in with most of my foundation. So hopefully it's the same with this. And I am going to be using these like Faux Artiste brushes. So fingers crossed they work. They do feel honestly a little rougher than a regular Artiste, but that's what I guess you could expect when you spend like $5 instead of the normal amount. It's kind of blending, but it kind of feels like it's skipping parts. I don't know if you can see that, but I might go over it one more time with the regular brush after this. And also, I don't know if you guys can see that little red dot under my eye, but I woke up with like a broken blood vessel or something. I don't know. If you guys know what that is, comment down below, because I've never had anything like that before. And I try to make a point not to rub my eyes aggressively. So yeah, this brush is not doing it, guys. I gotta switch. So now we know that that is not the way to go. So I'm just gonna use a regular kind of flat foundation brush. Yeah, look at that. Much better. So yeah, that brush at least was a fail. I'll try it with my concealer as well just to give it a full chance, but for foundation it is not it. So the next question is what my favorite subject in high school was. The subject I did the best in was probably English, but I don't know if that was my favorite. I honestly really liked science class, even though that wasn't necessarily my strongest subject in high school. In college, when I took microbiology, that ended up being something I really ended up doing really well in, which was kind of surprising to me because it's not something I ever thought that I would want to do. But I knew I wanted to get my degree in applied sciences. Which right now, I already have my associate's degree in applied sciences. I'm working on a bachelor's degree. I think I only have a semester or two left, but I did have to take a break, like due to some health issues and also like student loan stuff. And anybody that goes to college, I'm sure you know all the crap that goes into it. And being a non-traditional student, it does make it harder to just financially, because I'm not obviously living at home with my parents, and so there's just a lot that goes into it. So right now, yeah, I am taking a little break, but eventually I would like to finish my bachelor's degree and then move on to my master's. I'm not 100% sure which direction I'm going at this point, but I know I want it to be maybe science related, maybe epidemiology. I don't know. I feel like that's interesting, especially after this last year and a half that we've had. So that's interesting. And then what is my favorite drink? I'm sure it's referring to an alcoholic drink. I don't drink anymore. Because of my health issues, I probably haven't had a drink in almost 2 years, honestly. Which is fine, like I wasn't a big drinker to begin with, but when I did drink alcohol, I would say that I would typically do like a vodka soda or even a vodka Red Bull if I was really feeling it, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face really quick. Oh, actually, let me do concealer. I lied. I usually do my concealer first. I do have a mirror down here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. But just for my favorite like regular drink to drink every day, I like vitamin waters. Like I have to really try to stay hydrated, especially with Crohn's disease, so that is one thing. Yeah, these brushes are not it, guys. I'm sorry, I do not recommend these whatsoever. I'm just gonna use a little flat brush. And then for soda, I actually do drink soda. I know a lot of people have kind of polarizing opinions on that, but carbonation makes my tummy feel better, so I don't feel bad about that. Most of the time I do drink clear sodas like Sprite, or I really like Fresca. I don't know if that's like an older thing, but or I really like ginger ale. So those are the main ones I drink. Occasionally I do drink a Diet Coke if I'm getting like fast food or something, but that's not really an everyday situation. So there's that. Now I'm gonna set my face, and I do also have a pressed powder from a previous Shop Miss A haul, not the last one I did, but so I'm just gonna set pretty much where I put concealer, and then I'll go the rest of my face after with whatever's left on the brush. I don't like to put too much powder on because that can make your skin look really dry, and obviously for youthful looking skin you want it to be moist and plump, so that is the goal. So I'm just kind of going over everything, my eyelids. And back on the topic of like drinking alcohol, I do feel like for social situations I do kind of miss having a drink here and there, but it really is not that hard, guys. If you don't want to drink or you want to try to be healthier and not drink, I've made it work this long, and my husband still has whiskey or bourbon here and there, and it's never a temptation for me. So, but also I'm motivated because if I do drink, it will make me feel really awful, so that kind of makes it a little bit easier to not do. So I'm gonna just use my regular bronzer and answer another question. Have I participated in any sports? So I did a few sports in middle school, and I kind of didn't anymore when I was in high school. In middle school I did volleyball, which I really liked actually, and I did okay at. Like I was not on the A team or anything, but that was really fun. And then my best friend joined track, so of course, you know, I wanted to do that, which I was in for about 3 days because me and running do not mix. And I wanted to join track for like the more field part of track and field, not the running, but obviously they make you do the running part anyway, and I'm like, not for me. And like I always say, if I'm running, you ever see me running, you better start running too, because something is chasing me, and yeah, that's pretty much the only reason I would be running, ever. So there's that bronzer. I'll kind of blend that in as I go, but I'm gonna do blush now, and I'm gonna use the blush from the haul. And it's this kind of like, I tried to show you guys last time, this kind of shows better coloring. Let me cover my face so it shows. See that color? Super pretty. Does anybody else's nose run when they do their makeup? I don't know why it always happens to me. It's pretty dusty. Really pretty though. I don't know if you can see that in this lighting, but it actually has a really good color payoff. I'm kind of surprised. And I always take the extra kind of everywhere else because foundation washes you out like nobody's business. So I like the blush so far. I know that's like not much. And the palette, the mixing palette. Let's see. What's my favorite book? I've got a lot of new books, but I haven't read them yet. So I'm just gonna tell you about a couple older books that I read that I really liked. There was one called The Girls that I really liked, and it's about some conjoined sisters and their basically their life of trying to navigate relationships and obviously being together all the time, and so I thought that was kind of interesting. Let's move on to eyeshadow really quick, and then I'll tell you another book that I've been liking. I also liked this book when I was in high school, I think, called Stuck in Neutral, I think is what it's called. And it was about a boy that was paralyzed and in a coma. Well, not a coma, he was, what is it called? Kind of catatonic, like he wasn't verbal, like he couldn't basically let people know what he was thinking, but inside of his head, he was completely cognizant of what was going on. So it was from his perspective, and I thought it was really interesting for that. So I'm using the palette from the haul. I'm going with the lightest shade all over the lid. So there's a couple books. I mean, I don't know. I'm not as big of a reader as I would like to be. Even though I have a pretty extensive book collection right now, I just need to get into it more. It's pretty. I don't know if you guys can see that from here, but yeah, I like that. So far so good. What is my favorite color? That kind of goes back and forth. This sounds cliche, but I really do like most colors. I probably like blush pink the most, and then black, which I know is kind of depressing to some people, but I really don't mind. So I think I'm gonna go in with the lighter purple shade in here and put that in the crease and kind of blend it out. And then while I do that, my favorite animal, probably a cat, I know, or a narwhal. I know that's kind of random, but I remember one time, this is funny, my mom was looking at something, I think it was during Christmas time, and one of the narwhals from the movie Elf was on a shirt or something, and she's like, oh look, it's that unicorn fish. Which I thought was hilarious. So now I kind of just want to call them that, because unicorn fish is a fantastic name, I feel like. So that was funny. And speaking of holidays, the next question was what my favorite holiday is, and I have to say I really love Halloween, but I also like Christmas. I feel like Halloween reminds me of my dad, my stepdad, and then Christmas is always gonna remind me of my mom, especially snow. And which I like, because eventually when she's no longer here, I feel like that's gonna be some connection that I always have for her, and she always makes every Christmas so special. Like even when we were younger and didn't have very much money, like, I don't know, she found a way. And then for Halloween, my dad passed away when I was 13. Before that, like, Halloween was always one of his favorite holidays, so now it's just something that obviously I connect to on that level, and it reminds me of him, so I'm grateful for that. I'm gonna go in and deepen the crease now with a little bit darker shade. And if you guys want a story time on my dad passing and, well, my stepdad passing, I know it's kind of confusing because I talked about my biological father at the beginning of this, but who I consider my real father is my stepdad. He's the one that raised me and took care of me. But if you'd like a story time on how I found out and what happened, then let me know, because I think it's important to share, like, sometimes the darker sides of life too, because life happens. So far, guys, I have to say though, changing subjects, I really love this eyeshadow palette. Like, the colors are blending really well. I don't really have any purple, and I know purple is kind of a hard color to formulate, so I'm like pleasantly surprised. I don't know if you can see it, but so far so good. So I'm keeping all the things that worked out well in one little section because there are definitely some misses so far. Okay, so I think I'm going to do some eyelashes that I got from the haul as well. And these are the premium faux mink lashes. And I think it's, I have no idea how to pronounce this, Jeju. That's the lash type. Oh my gosh, I can't open the package though. So these have a very thick band, so I'm not sure how they're gonna glue on, but I'll show you guys closer. I don't know, it's pretty dramatic, so let me try to get those on. This part I might kind of fast forward through because putting eyelashes on can take a minute. So let me I'll go ahead and do these off camera, and then I'll be back so we can do the rest. Okay, so as you can see, these are extremely dramatic. I don't know if these are everyday wear for me. I know a lot of people like to have some kind of glamorous eyelashes every day, but I like to be a little more subtle on a day-to-day basis, so I am going to just wear these for the sake of the video. I mean, they went on actually really well. I'm surprised, because sometimes when you have that really thick band, it's like kind of difficult to work with. So there's that. The next question, have you ever been out of the country? I have. One time I went to Mexico just for a day. I was in Arizona and my family just actually walked just right over, spent the day, and then we came back. So it was very brief. I would like to go to Europe sometime. I think that would be fun. Anyway, so I'm gonna go now and do eyebrows with the little eyebrow pomade that I got last time. And then, do I have any siblings? Yes, I do. I'm the youngest of 5 siblings, so there's quite a few of us. This shade, by the way, is kind of a taupey color, so I'm not sure it's gonna look quite right with my hair color, but we're just gonna use it anyway. If I look silly, that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. My oldest sibling is 18 years older than me, so my mom kind of kept having kids for quite a long time. I think she kind of planned on being done after the second one, to be honest, because my second oldest is 14 years older than me, and then there was a pretty big gap in time until the next one. And then my oldest brother is a year and a half older than me, and then I have a twin brother, so who's technically a minute older than me, so technically I'm still the youngest. Guys, I don't think this shade is that bad, actually. Although honestly, this cap doesn't feel very tight, and it already looks like it might be drying out slightly. So if you guys have any tips on keeping like brow pomades from drying out, please let me know, because I've definitely had a few dry out on me. So yeah, there are 5 of us. And then, what's my favorite movie? I have to say one of my favorite movies is probably Sweet Home Alabama, which I know is kind of not super popular, I don't think, with some people, but it's just one that kind of brings me comfort. I don't know, I think I just watched it a lot when it first came out, so anyway. And then my favorite genre of movies, however, are horror movies, so those are what I watch primarily, honestly, which I know my mom kind of hates, not hates, but every time we want to watch a movie together, obviously the things that we want to watch are completely on polar opposite ends, so that's okay. I really like the Conjuring universe movies, and some of the Saw movies, it got kind of weird. I have not seen the newest one, Spiral, yet, but I'm really excited too. I'm just not comfortable going to theaters yet to see anything because of the pandemic. I'm just trying to be as safe as possible. But moving on to the makeup, I want to use these two colored mascaras, which obviously I have the lashes on, so I think I might just do one on each bottom lash just for fun. So I'm gonna go with the teal colored one first. Well, it's technically dark green on the lid. So I'm gonna look at my mirror bit. I'll show you guys when I'm done. So let me answer another question while I'm doing that. Some of my favorite TV shows. Right now, I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale, which I think I have an episode to watch tonight. It's kind of scary, honestly, how possible some of that seems to be. Like, it's not that far-fetched, honestly. Especially with the political climate that we have in our country right now. Which, you know, I don't want to get into politics really on here, but it's definitely scary, that's all I know. So I'm gonna do one coat on each, and then I'll go back and do another coat just so we can see that color a little bit more vibrantly. So the other one is dark blue. Wow. It's not focusing, but you get the idea. Like, it's pretty vibrant on there. And then another show that I've been watching, or that I did watch and finish, was Bridgerton, which everybody and their cousins been watching that one. But I feel like it's interesting how they kind of incorporated modern music into a old-timey, like, period piece show. I thought that was kind of neat. So there it is. Like, it's hard to see, but there are the two colors so far. I'm gonna do another coat after I do lips, but I'm gonna let that fully dry just so we can really get that going. So I got I got 4 lip products from the haul. So let's try all of them. I'm gonna try this really crazy one first because why not? It's that one I was telling you guys about that's called Cashmere, and it's like a liquid lip, but in this like muted blue shade. There you go. It's pretty good opacity though for like one, but it smells really strong of chemicals. Okay, so there's that shade. It's actually really pretty. I don't know when I would wear this or what event I would wear this to, and I can hear my mom now talking about how horrendous this looks because she does not like any of these like fun colors, I would say. I'm not gonna let this dry down completely because this is not the shade I'm gonna end up wearing for the rest of the day, but I do want to show you, and I did a swatch of this one in the last video and it did dry down completely, so I'm guessing this will do the same on the lips. But there's one final look of the, I don't even know what shade you would call this, kind of like a purpley blue shade. I keep wanting to call it periwinkle, but I feel like periwinkle is lighter than this. It comes off pretty easy as long as you're not letting it dry too much. But usually if I have trouble getting a liquid lip off, I just use like some kind of oil or something. So there we go. I am going to try probably the darkest to the lightest next. And then let's answer a couple more questions. PC or MAC? Honestly, I've used both and I don't really have a huge preference. I probably know PC better than MAC, but I don't really have, honestly, a super strong preference. My husband's in IT, so I've used both kinds. I'm gonna try on the shade Shore first, this kind of nudish color. Feels really creamy. I feel like this is a pretty wearable shade, honestly. It doesn't have any like weird smell. It's kind of sweet smelling. So this could be a contender for this look. Let's try the other two. and then we can decide what we really want to put on. And I'm sorry guys, if you can hear any traffic, the traffic outside my house is like really loud sometimes, and I don't know how to get that not to be super obvious, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna try on this next shade called Gossip, and it's a hot pink. Okay, this one's supposedly supposed to be a 24-hour wear. The shade is really pretty, but it's kind of stiff and kind of patches a little bit, like skips. I do love the color though. I feel like hot pink is so fun. Oh, it's already dry, so that's weird. This one probably hard to get off. It wipes off, but it definitely, you can feel it wanting to grip. And it does make your lips feel pretty dry. But it is supposed to be a 24-hour wear, so I don't know, I kind of expect that in those situations. So I'm gonna try on the shade Baby Pink, which clearly that's what it is. So this one's a little bit more sheer and reminds me so much of the early 2000s when kind of like muting down your own lip color was the thing to do. Don't you guys remember that? When people would like put concealer over their lips and then lip gloss over that? I don't really hate it though, so I might leave it on for now, honestly, just for fun. And I'm gonna go and do another coat of that mascara while we're chatting. What phone do I have? It's the iPhone. It's not the new one. I don't know. I'm horrible with knowing which phone I have. I'm not one of those people that has to have the newest and greatest phone. As long as it works, which, you know, seems like every time a new phone comes out, the old ones just start to fall apart. So it's kind of convenient timing, if you know what I mean. Kind of a little conspiracy theory I believe in. I'm sure a lot of you guys do, because it seems kind of suspicious when all of a sudden the phone that was working perfectly fine stops working when the new phone comes out. Okay guys, so my final thoughts on this mascara. The dark green does not show up nearly as much, I'm sure you can tell, as the blue. The blue is really cool actually, and I kind of like that it's just on the bottom lash. I'm getting kind of like 80s vibes from this makeup with the blue and the pink, and everything's kind of frosted, so that's kind of funny. Let me throw on a highlight. I don't have one. Oh, actually, let me see. I do have one actually from a previous haul. This one is also from Shop Miss A, and it's in the shade Dove. This one's pretty subtle, but it does kind of build up. Like you can build it up, which is nice. Okay, now that I'm all frosted out, so let me see if there's anything I'm missing. I think I used everything. Oh, I did not use the little contour stick thing, but I'll show you a swatch of that one more time on the back of my hand. It's kind of that cool tone. I feel like if you were to contour your nose, which I don't do every day, honestly, but I feel like this would be a really good shade for me. It's pretty cool toned, which is kind of hard to find in a contour these days, so that is cool. So let me take these clips out really quick, and then let me answer just one more question. Ow. I'm ripping my own hair out, guys. And my hair is not done, so just ignore that for the sake of this video. I just let it air dry after I showered, and it is what it is. So let me give you one final look at this makeup though. I feel like it turned out pretty well. I mean, everything's pretty much $1 except for those brushes, and they were honestly the worst thing that I got, so. There's two more questions really quick. How tall am I? I am 5'8". And then, do I have any pets? I have one cat, which you guys saw in my last video. She sometimes likes to make an appearance. I don't know if she's around. I'm not sure where she is right now, but her name is Chloe, and she's gonna be 14 this year, so I've had her for quite a while. I've had her since she was 4 months old. She's my little baby, and I love her so much. So that is it. Go ahead and comment down below any questions you have for me. I'd love to do another like Q&A style video. This one wasn't submitted questions, but just a list of questions just to get to know me a little bit better and hopefully give you a little more insight on who I am as a person. So go ahead and let me know any questions you have for me down below, then I can do another Q&As type video. But I think my next video is going to be me attempting to do self-tanner, which I'm a little bit nervous about considering I am one of the more fair people that I've ever met. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure it's gonna be really funny, so definitely stay tuned for that. But as always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.